So you are in a new job, or possibly you're just in a new role. Maybe you've been promoted, maybe you've shifted roles in your company, maybe you've left one company and you're in a totally different job, could even be a completely different career shift. And you are experiencing overwhelm. There's a few things that I want to say about this. First of all, there is a level of overwhelm and anxiety that's to be expected when we make any kind of change in our life. So your mind wants things to be consistent, it wants things to be calm, it wants things to be very familiar. So anytime we make any kind of change, the mind has a bit of a temper tantrum and it starts to freak out about all the things it needs to learn, the new environment, a feeling of not being an expert anymore. All of that is a really natural part of having any kind of transition in our career. What's important is that you pay attention to the extent to which you're experiencing this. So a lot of people sort of feel that angst when they make a change. But there is a certain sector of the population, women that I work with in particular, and it's a fairly large sector that struggle with an underlying issue of imposter syndrome, fear of failing, chronic comparison, fear of making mistakes. People who are very ambitious really can have this buried under the surface. And what happens is when you make a change and all of a sudden you're in something that's unfamiliar, you're in a position that feels a little bit more vulnerable because suddenly you have to learn a lot and you have to put yourself out there in a different way. The imposter syndrome monsters will sort of come out of the closet and show up in your new job or your new career. If you are noticing that you are frequently questioning, am I competent enough to do this? Am I capable enough? Did I make a mistake? People are going to figure out that I don't really know what I'm doing. What if I F this whole thing up? What if I fail at this? What if I make a mistake and it's catastrophic? What if people judge me? You're experiencing a level that is a little bit deeper than just the sort of normal transition pains that come with any kind of job change. So what you're experiencing is you're probably hidden imposter syndrome that you've had for most of your career, but you've been able to manage it and deal with it because you became sort of an expert or familiar where you were, and now that you've made a change, all of those things have come back to the surface. So it's really important that you first start by understanding that you are a person that has this, because if you don't understand that, you will take it to be an objective perspective on your experience. So if you are someone that suffers from imposter syndrome, and if you're still tuned into this video, then chances are you do. If all of the questions that I just put in front of you, you said yes, yes, and yes, then you do. The tricky thing is you tend to think you have an objective evaluation of your competency, your abilities, and your reality in this new position, role, job. So when you're moving throughout your day and you're thinking, crap, I made a mistake, or you're thinking, I don't really know what I'm doing, or they're going to figure me out, or I'm never going to fit in here, or I should know more than I already do. You think you're having some sort of really helpful and objective dialogue in your head about what's going on, but what you're actually having is a miscalculation of what's actually happening. So your ability to evaluate your own competency, your own abilities is off. Your barometer is off because you have this underlying imposter syndrome where you always tend to underestimate your abilities, your competency, and you tend to think that other people's perception of you is far more negative than it actually is. So the first thing I want you to do is to recognize that this is what's going on if you are really identifying with what I'm talking to you about. Because what you have is an inability to accurately look at this role, an inability to accurately determine if this is a good fit for you, how to sort of mesh into this culture. And you've also got something that's really going to cause you a lot more suffering during this transition, because it's going to bring up all of those fears of failure, your perfectionism, your comparison, all those sort of monsters are spinning like crazy. So I want you to just start by recognizing that you have it. Because a lot of times that can help to start making your perception of things shift a little to, oh gosh, maybe this temper tantrum isn't actually an accurate perception of what's going on. I'm inside my head too much. And what I don't want you to do is to self-sabotage in your new position. So start by recognizing my barometer for evaluating my own competency and my own abilities is off, and my barometer for evaluating how other people perceive my performance is also off. Because just this little tweak will help you to start realizing that what's happening in your brain is not actually an objective reality in terms of what's actually going on in this new position for you. So please feel free to check out the other resources below here that are here to help you specifically with this phenomenon, with this transition, with this new job, with your confidence level, with your feelings of competency. And I also really encourage you to look at my one-on-one program where I look specifically at getting you out of this state of panic, uncertainty, and second guessing so that you can start really feeling confident, kick ass in your new role, working to your potential, and so that you can get a very clear evaluation of how this new role fits for you, how to utilize it, if you need to make a change or not. So I encourage you, below I have the link, check out my one-on-one coaching program. I offer a free consultation in there. You can hop on a call, let me know what's going on with you, and I can tell you if this program is a good fit for you. Thanks so much for tuning in.